Abilities. Every brawler has them, and every brawler has unique ones, specifically crafted to fit their playstyle. But there are quite a few of those abilities that are completely useless, and you might even be better off not using them at all. Most of these don't really help you. Keep in mind, these abilities aren't sorted in any particular order. I didn't rank or rate them on how bad they are. This is just a video to show all the useless abilities in the game. Anyways, let's start with the first ability, Shelly's Fast Forward Gadget. This gadget lets Shelly dash a couple of tiles in a certain direction, and it works like Mac's dash and Maisie's dash without any added benefits. It doesn't give Shelly an advantage like invincibility or extra damage, and it gets severely outclassed by her other gadget, Clay Pigeons. This is also the case for a lot of other brawlers, where one ability is vastly superior to another. But before we move on, I would like to give a quick word to the sponsor of this video, One State. One State is a free mobile online game with a roleplay mode. The game's setting takes place in Los Angeles on a large open map. Here, you can become a police officer, a gangster, a businessman, or an ordinary worker. The game offers endless opportunities for character development, including playing with friends, making new acquaintances, and enjoying various entertainment options. There's also something really epic and new. One State has just released a major update called It's Thuggin' Time. This is a significant update where they have introduced the opportunity for players to create their own gang and compete with others for the title of the most formidable organization in the city. The game is optimized to work on any mobile device, so you never experience lag. Make sure to download One State by using my link, and if you use code BIEF, you get a free 10,000 bucks to help you start off. I personally really like to drive around the map and completing missions with other players. You can earn some big rewards if you complete those missions, and there are also big events to make the game even more fun. And the coolest part is that all of this happens on a real map of America. So what are you waiting for? Download the game, use my promo code, and a huge thanks to One State for sponsoring this video. Chester's Sneak Peek Star Power. Being able to see which super you get next, instead of getting an additional attack which deals 4,000 damage, makes this star power completely useless. I feel like this should already be a part of the main build, because it doesn't really have any advantages, and it makes Chester maybe a little bit less RNG based, since you can position yourself in such a way that the super you get will be more useful. Positioning yourself is also very important for our next ability, and it's RT's inline gadget. I mean, seriously, I have never seen anyone get any value out of this gadget. It's almost impossible to hit someone with it, and comparing this to his other gadget, it's absolute garbage. This also goes for his recording star power, which gives him and his legs a shield when using his super. Most of the time, you don't even want to use his super, because you're so vulnerable. And RT is best played on open, long-range maps, so this star power doesn't really pair well with him. Another ability that doesn't pair well with the brawler is Pearl's Hypercharge. Like, where is the synergy? Her super pushes enemies back and leaves a burning area behind. Anyone who has eyes can see that they shouldn't be walking inside of that area. This hypercharge is just really weird. I mean, it's not useless, but the extra ability it has definitely is. Miko's Hypercharge has a problem as well. If you use his super whilst being hypercharged, you stun your enemies when you come out. That's pretty cool. But if you activate your super right as you activate your hypercharge, you basically waste it. In the air, you cannot attack, so all the added stat buffs are gone when you land your super. So, to get the most out of this hypercharge, use your super as late as possible. Staying on the topic of Miko, his Record Smash star power doesn't offer a lot either. Double damage when hitting anything that isn't a brawler sounds nice on the surface, but if you take a look at his other star power, which makes him win almost any 1v1, the choice is clear. You pick that star power. Record Smash is only viable in Heist, but be honest, who plays Miko in Heist? And Showdown, where this star power really helps opening boxes. In any other mode, it's pretty much useless, and this brings us to Kit's Power-Hungry Star Power. This is an ability that only works in one mode, which is Showdown. Using this in any other mode will be completely useless. The star power has absolutely zero versatility. I also think this is the case for Griff's Coin Shower gadget. Shooting 33% extra coins for one attack is awful. Maybe if it lasted for like 5 seconds, it would have been a pretty good gadget. But only one attack? Nah, I'm good. His piggy bank gadget is just so much more useful, breaking open walls, and maybe even dealing some damage along the way. Griff's first star power, Keep the Change, is also quite useless, offering a 25% reduction of his unload speed, but business resilience is just so much better. Having a faster unload speed might help you win some close-range interactions, but passive healing definitely outshines this star power. As we've seen, there are some abilities that are just worse than their counterparts. But what if an ability actually has a drawback of using it? That brings us to Ash's Rotten Banana gadget. It makes Ash lose 25% of his health to gain 40% rage. Losing 25% HP means that at full health, you lose 2,800 HP. This of course is really bad because every hit point counts. Gus also has an ability like this. Soul Switcher will make Gus lose 5% HP to fully fill up his spirit bar, making him spawn a ghost with his next attack. I know, 5% is a lot less than 25%, but the only thing that makes Gus good is his other gadget. Exploding ghosts on the map and possibly finishing off an enemy offers so much more benefit than losing HP and spawning another ghost. I quickly wanted to give an honorable mention to Jackie's rebuild gadget. Yes, it's useless, but the cheese you can pull off with it is amazing. At the start of this video, we talked about Shelly's dash, and Bonnie has a dash as well. It's of course Bonnie's crash test gadget, which makes her dash, just like Shelly. This gadget, on the other hand, does have extra power to it, dealing damage and knocking back enemies. I would argue it's actually pretty good, but her other gadget is just a lot more useful since her cannon form is usually her best form. She also has a star power which is complete doo-doo, Wisdom Tooth. Seriously, when I got this from a legendary drop, I was not happy to say the least. Her main attack shatters into small projectiles. Do they deal a lot of damage? No. Are they easy to hit? No. Have I ever seen anyone getting any use out of this star power? No. It is so bad. Fun fact, I also got Doug's Fast Food Star Power from a legendary drop. It makes anyone who was resurrected by the almighty hot dog a bit faster for 3 seconds. It might be good if you're an assassin or something, but his other star power is just a lot more useful in most situations. I do like the pun they made when coming up with a name for his star power. Unfortunately, the game isn't about puns. Otherwise, Jesse's Shocky Star Power would have been among the best ones in the game. It's actually the complete opposite because this star power gets a well-deserved place on this list. Scrappy, Jesse's turret, has an ocular disability. It seems as if it cannot hit a single shot.
What are you aiming at? What are you aiming at?
So what does it matter if its energy orbs bounce onto someone else, if it can't even hit someone in the first place? Yeah, it's quite shocking how bad it is. Sorry. Let's do a little quiz. We all know this gadget, right? It belongs to Pearl and leaves some burn damage after getting hit by one of her cookies. But what does her second gadget do? Is it A, Cookie Barrage? Pearl launches an intensified barrage of cookies containing 50% more projectiles. Is it B, Sugar Burst? Upon activation, Pearl releases a burst of sweet energy that instantly restores a small amount of health to herself and nearby allies. Or is it C, Made with Love? Pearl's next basic attack shoots perfectly baked cookies, healing allies 25% of the damage over time instead. If you picked C, you are right. To be honest, I completely forgot this gadget even existed, and I asked a few friends and they didn't remember it either.
What the hell? Oh my god, no way,
So yeah, what this does is it heals your allies. Does it heal a lot? No, not at all. 2k healing at most, and that is if you are at full heat and hit every shot, which is quite unlikely if your teammates are moving around a lot. Eve also has a healing gadget, which not a lot of people use. I wouldn't say it's terrible, but it has some downsides to it, which make it not the best option. For starters, you have to preemptively decide whether you want to use your next super to heal your team, or if you want to use it to push enemies back. Furthermore, it takes really long to actually receive the healing, and you want healing to happen instantly, not over time. Another thing that happens over time is Ruff's Field Promotion Star Power. If you stand near Ruff's, he will increase your max health by 30 every second. This might seem good on the surface, but this is far from the truth. When the power level scaling happened, and a lot of star powers and gadgets got rebalanced, nothing happened to Ruff's star power, which means that 30 now, in percentage terms, is much less than before. It also doesn't help that when you die, you lose all your extra HP, and it will probably never be very viable competitively. Another star power I find kinda useless is Frank's Sponge star power. It just adds a little bit of HP to Frank, and with him already being the tankiest brawler in the game, I never really see how this will benefit him. He might be able to survive an extra shot, but he's just a big punching bag nevertheless. Frank will die no matter what, unfortunately. Well then, I guess that's it for today. There are still a lot of useless abilities left which I will cover in part 2, so stay tuned for that. Also, a huge shout out to you for becoming a channel member. Thank you so much. Hope you enjoyed. Don't forget to sub and I'll see you in the next one.